Well, today we are going to see the IPA server installation, that is Red Hat IdM. Then after that we will install an IPA client in the Linux virtual machines, where we will integrate that Linux virtual machine with Red Hat IdM to have a AD login in the Linux client VMs. Okay, the agenda is like the client Linux VM should have to log in with AD user. Okay, so let me first open my document where I have my environment details. So this is my environment. For this, you require one Active Directory DNS domain. That is nothing but where your all Linux clients will be having its DNS domain there, and we'll be having a separate DNS for the IPA. That is the main point that I want to discuss. Is like there will be a separate two DNS servers. Red Hat IDM will maintain its own DNS, and there will be a corporate DNS. So we will have some conditional forwarders to query the domain records from cross domain. Okay, like from IDM, if you want to query anything in the primary DNS, like in my case, platformops.co.in, we can retrieve that or query that, and vice versa. Like if you want to query any machine with platform ops.co.in through Red Hat IDM, we can able to do that. For that, the main point is like you should have to do a conditional forwarder. So let's start with the installation. Before to that, we require like the primary DNS domain should have to be created in Windows. So the same thing I'm going to do that now. So here, this is my action server. So from here, I will go to this 3.551 is my Windows DNS server. I need to configure that. So let's log in into that. Okay. So we have logged in, right? Yeah, we have logged in. So let me check anything is configured in this. I don't think so. Nothing is configured. Yeah. So let's go to manage, add roles, next, next. So my my domain, my machine name is like AD01. Okay, and the domain that I will going to be create will be platformops.co.in. So the machine name will be fully qualified domain ad01.platformops.co.in. So let's do that. Select your Active Directory domain services where it will install all these tools, and also check the DNS server as well. Then after that, install. Restart the destination server when it's required. So tell install. It will take some couple of minutes. Let's wait for that. So all the features are installed now. So let's close this. Uh, it's okay. It is a previous message. It is asking about that. So let's go for this particular part that we should have to promote this server as a domain controller. A new forest and view the forest name. Next. and give the password. Next, there will be no delegation. Okay, no issue. Next, the net BIOS name should have to get like as platform ops. Next, next, next. Let me check the prerequisites and it will allow us to install. All prerequisites checks pass successfully. Click install. So let's wait for promoting this server as a domain controller. So it's successfully installed and it is going to restart the system. Let's check the status of this. So let's log in into the same server now. Now the machine name came like ad01.platformops.co.in. Okay, let's wait for server manager. Let's check for DNS. Forward zone. Yeah. We should have create the reverse lookup zone as well. Next, primary zone, world DNS servers, IPv4 lookup zone. Okay, give the network ID 192.168.3. We did not want dynamic updates. So click next, finish it. Okay, then for one client machine, I need to create one DNS record. So RH client 01 192.168.3.209 is the IP address. Okay, let's check in, yeah, inverse zone also. It's created. So the part of the DNS server is done. So we will go for the IDM now. For that, I will go to 208. This is my uh, Linux machine with operating system 9.8. Okay, where I'm going to install the IPS server. And let me check it is registered with my Red Hat satellite server or not. Yeah, it's registered and this is the name. Okay, so then after that, I will check what are the repositories are there. Okay, AppStream and base OS of RHL9. So then after that, we need to check system CTL status chronology. It is up and running. Let's restart that. Okay, so we'll check chronicity tracking. The leap status should be normal. And we'll check what are the sources of this LTP. Chrony C sources. So these are the sources. Fine. So we will check that any repositories that we need to, sorry, any packages that we need to update. So DNF update -y. So nothing is there. It's already up to date. Let's go for the installation steps. So where is my document? Yeah, this is the document. Before to that, what we have to do is we have to set the IP address of this machine and the host name in /etc host. That is like 92.168.3.208 is the IP address of this. And the name of the server is IPA01 IDM dot platform ops 4.in and RH Red Hat Satellite IPA01 to 7 bit. So, oh, 1 minute. So we need to give the host name of the server in /etc host. We already given that. So let's move to the next steps. Okay, this is the release, which we have 9.8, and this is the address to check that. This is the address which I already given /etc/host, and this is to check the gateway. Yeah, gateway is this one. Then confirm the host name. Okay, host name is this, which I already set. So rh-ipa01.idm.platform ops.co.in. So the next thing is like to add that IP address and the host name, which I already did that. Now check the timings. We should have to be very careful when you are configuring Red Hat IDM, and if you want to have the Linux machines to authenticate AD users through Red Hat IdM. So all the IPA server and IPA clients should have to be synced in time. Okay. Otherwise, if there is a clock skew issue, then your authentication will not happen. Okay. This already think we have checked that. Let's check once again. So it should be normal leak status. And this is to check the sources of your NTP server. Like usually in enterprises, there will be a separate NTP server. So give the details in cronid.conf and restart the Chronicy. Then it should have to be listen or poll to that NTP server. So then after that, we can check this later, this 5.5 section. Then we need to enable, I already have my Red Hat satellite server. So I registered this IPS server to that Red Hat satellite server. So my repositories is already there, which we already seen that, right? So let's show that again. So these are the repositories enabled. Otherwise, you can use these particular commands to enable subscription manager repos and all the stuff. So then after that, I have checked the DNF update -y, nothing to install. And this is the main packages or the RPMs or the software that required to install your IPS server. So let's copy that. In that, this is IPS server is for configuring your Red Hat IdM main server, and IPA server DNS is whenever it's configuring IPA server, then there will be its own DNS will be configured. For that, it will help us. And IPA server trust AD is nothing but like usually our goal is the Linux client should have to be logged in with AD users, right? So the IPA server, if it wants to communicate with our Active Directory. So this particular package will help us. So these are the things. So let's try to install that RPMs or the packages. So already all these things are installed. So let's go for the next steps. So if you're not having your firewall handled by your IT infrastructure team or the cybersecurity team, then at the OS level, if you want to enable the firewall, so for that you should have to add these particular services, okay, and reload your firewall, and then it will allow these particular services to access. Otherwise, it will not allow any Linux client to get access to that. Okay. In my case, I have. Uh, Disable the firewall. Okay. Then after that, this is the main command that we need to execute to install your IPS server. So let's go and open the notepad. So in this, you should have to give host name. That is nothing but your IDM server name. Domain is this, relay is this, and set up the DNS and forwarder. I told you the conditional forwarder, right? So for that, we are forwarding. What is my Windows DNS IP address? 3.51. So let's copy this and exit. So give a password for the directory manager. Then also the IP admin password. And I did not want to check the missing one. So simply tell no. And the NetBoys domain name you should have to give as the IDM. And configure Crony with NTP server, no. And these are the information it took and going to be configured now. Like host name is this, IP address is this domain name. The domain of this particular is IDM dot this one, and realm is IDM dot platform co.in. Okay, and this is the certificate, and this is the subject, self signed, and the forwarder is this, and forward policy is only. Okay, let's configure. Yes, it will take a couple of minutes. Let's wait. Let's see, like what are the steps. Like 43 steps are done. Next, it is going to be configure the other components. So it is in the last stage. Let's say this is configuring the DNS. So this is the realm and the domain. And starting the IPS service, enabling and restarting IPS service. So it's successfully done, and my IPS server and the DNS domain are in the same subnet. For that, I did not want to allow this particular ports. If it is in different subnet, so these particular ports you should have to take care. It should have to be open, and then after that, we can check that it is authenticating or not with admin. So the password is here. So it is login. We are able to get the principal name of this service principal. So it's working properly. That means the IPS server got installed perfectly. So let's do what is the next actions. Okay, the same thing, and we can check IPA ping. So where it will give the version of your IPS server. So then your admin user checking with IPA. Then it's showing admin administrator. Okay, this is the one. So fine. Then checking the DNS zone. So this is your authoritative name server. Okay, and this is your zone name, IDM dot. That's fine. So then after that, we try to validate the DNS records. So giving the reply to that. Okay, this is the one. Let's see by executing the other one to get the Kerberos one and the service records of Kerberos and the LDAP. Okay, it is giving that. And next, yeah, for the LDAP also it's given. So then after that, configure bidirectional DNS. That means The conditional forwarders which we are talking about, or otherwise the querying of the records should have to be done from idm.platform.platformops.co.in and as well as platformops.co.in. For that, we need to configure the DNS forward zone from IPA server. So for that, we are going to create this. Let's copy the command, and here you should have to give your Windows DNS server IP. Copy this. Next. Okay. Now the zone forward is over there here, and zone name is this. But it is giving some warning at DNS security. So at the Windows server, if the DNS security is there, then it have not given the warning, but it's not there. So we have to tell to the IPS server that you should not have to check for the DNS security part. Whether there is a file. mm, Options extension.com. Here there will be DNS security violations. It should be no. After doing that, you should have to restart your IPS service. Okay, it is successful. Then we try to get the DNS records by sitting in the IPS server. So let's copy these commands. The one, yeah. After that forward zone is done, then we are able to retrieve the records, and we'll try to get the service records of LDAP and Kerberos as well. Try to query that. Yes, LDAP. We are able to get the Kerberos as well. So then after that, we need to create a conditional forward zone in Active Directory as well to query the IDM domain uh, records. So let's go to the DNS server. Here only the thing is like I have some issue, but we need to check. I have workaround for that. So for that, I will show you the issue first. When you want to do the conditional forwarding, you will give the domain name that is your IDM dot platform arts.co.in and the master that is the IP address of that particular machine where the domain is configured. 133.208. So when it is doing that, it will give this particular error for us. The server with this IP address is not authoritative for the required zone. So when I try to click OK, it will throw an error. For that, what I had to do is I had to go to this domain platform platformops.co.in. There, you should have to create a new delegation. What is the delegated domain? IDM. Then it will give IDM dot platform. Yeah, correct. Next, what is the IP address of that? Fully qualified RH IPA01 dot IDM dot platform ops dot in. IP address 192.168.3.208. So it can able to retrieve that. Tell okay, next, next, finish. Then after that, if you try to add the conditional forward one, it will accept that. It will throw the same error, but at least it will now be able to create this conditional forward. So from here, what I have to do is if I go to PowerShell, as an administrator. So then you try to get like you are able to resolve these particular records or not of IDM. Yeah, it is able to resolve. Then after that, you should have to check that Kerberos and the LDAP records are also able to retrieve or not. Yeah, yeah, Kerberos. Then LDAP. Are you finding the difference, right? This is the my IDM domain. So I'm just sitting on my primary DNS, that is Windows DNS server, where actually the Linux clients will get resolvable, and from there I'm trying to resolve that IDM dot platform ops dot co dot in records are able to retrieve or not. So how it is possible? Like adding the conditional forwards. Okay, that is done. So configure the pointer records. That's okay. That we can do from IPA server. So here we'll pick that. It is giving this. GPA 3.51. So at the both side, it is giving 8001 only. So first one which I did is this is the IPA DNS server. So it should have to give something other than that RHA dash IPA01. So what is the issue is like the resolve.conf will be with the name server will be with local host. So we need to change 192.168.3.208. So let me dig now. Okay, it's need a restart of the Ethernet. So let's go to my IPS server, OneMTUI, activate, deactivate, and activate. And let's check once what is there here. So the DNS server is 51. For that, this is the issue. After configuring yeah, the same the IPS server, its own DNS will be there, right? You should have to change that to the same server itself. And what is the domain? Okay, it should be IDM dot. Okay, cool. So let's tell okay, back, activate, deactivate, and activate. So now it will be the perfect information. Let's see. Still giving. Okay. Anyway, we'll get forward with this. Like we are getting the reports of uh, the Windows and this one. So let's go forward. So the expected pointer should be like what we are thinking about, but it's not getting that. Let me solve that. Okay, why it's showing? Because to the 8001, because previously we have created one delegate, right? So for that reason, it is showing that stuff here. Okay, so when you go and see here and tell refresh or reload, I think here it's not there, but the delegate which we have created, it is of with RHIPS01. For that, it is going again to the 8001 platform ops.co.in. Okay, that's not an issue. We can go ahead now. So we'll inspect that it is giving the KROS ticket or not. Okay, careless. Okay, and then after that we need to check the relm domains. So it is showing its relm domain as this. Okay, so now you need to configure the AD trust subsystem. That means if you want to have the AD logins through Red Hat IdM to Linux clients, then this should have to be installed. So copy and paste this. You need to give the admin password, and you should have to give S, and you should have to give S here as well. Fine. And also you should have to take care about these particular ports in between your two DNS servers, that is IDM DNS and Windows DNS. These should have to be open, these ports. My These both DNS are in the same subnet, but that it doesn't require. So then after that, you should have to restart your service. Then check the trust config now. Okay. So now the trust config, the BIOS it is showing as IDM and this one. Okay. Now we should have to establish the cross forest trust that is in between AD and IDM. So we already checked this. We are able to get the service records, right? So what we'll do is first we'll log in with admin. It's required. Okay, then we need to add the trust from IPA to AD. So let's copy this command. So type AD admin as administrator. So this administrator is of your Windows DNS server. Okay, let's copy this and execute. So I'm giving my Active Directory server password. So it's successfully added Active Directory Trust for LM platform ops code.in. So now the netbox it is showing which is added. And then after that we can check the trust find and all the commands by executable. So here it's platform ops and here it first shows platform ops. And this is ID range, the POSIX ID range which it is able to see to that. So that's okay. We can discuss that later. But now the installation is done, and and we try to do the test of our user. So before to that, I will go to my Windows server, Windows Active Directory server. Go to Tools, go to Users. Let's create one sample user, like something AD user one, AD user one. Next, give the password. And for temporary reason, I am removing this and password never expects and giving finish. Let's create another user. Give the password. This password never expires. Finish. So there are two users. I didn't add it to any group now. Let it be. Just I want to check the authentication. That's it. Okay. So let's go to from the main server itself. Let me check that it is able to retrieve this user or not, okay, by sitting in the Red Hat IdM server. So it is able to retrieve and give this information. Okay. From which domain user set platform ops.co.in. From there it given this. So it is successful. So then after that you can check here the user information. AD user one, and this is the user ID, group ID, and this is the home directory. Okay. So you can get this K in it, the principal name as well from here. So I'm giving the password, the so it is able to get the Kerberos ticket for this particular user. Okay. Um, Now I want to have one Red Hat client server. Okay. That is Red Hat Enterprise Linux VM, where it will be a client which is having the domain, not the idm.platformops.co.in, but platformops.co.in will be the domain of that. So whenever we are logging into this particular server, we should have to use the Active Directory username and the login should have to be successful. And how the authentication authorization will be happening, it is through Red Hat IdM. So let's have the client machine. Let's see, I'm having that or not. I'm not having that. So let's spin up one VM. So I will go to the lab VM. Next. Okay, next. Otherwise, we will use this one only. Next. Okay. Let's wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so it is created here. Let's bring up the system. Right. Okay, so I have the VM console for this Red Hat client. Let's change the IP address and the host name. Create dot 209 and 92.168.1 is the gateway. DNS server is the Windows DNS server. That is 3.51 and the domain is platform of 4.1. We may activate this information and set the system host name. RS client 01 platform odds 4.2 this. Yeah, let's try to open from mobile system. Yeah, it's open. And host name it is with this. And what I need to do is now I have to check the subscription as well. Entities. So we need to unregister first because it's created from the template, right? So to register, I have one command with P. This is the one. So if successfully registered, let's check the identity. Yeah, and it's registered with this name and to this and check able to get the repositories or not. Yes, and exactly anything that we need to update. Already all the things are there. So let's go for the client installation part. So here also you need to check the time because I already told that like all the Linux VM clients which are authenticating with Red Hat IdM, then it should be there should not be a clock skew. Okay, so promising tracking. Yep, and the sources for this is okay, cool. It's working now. So now we should have to install this particular packages. It is required for an IPA client. So it's trying to install that. Then you should have to enable this particular service. Okay. So this is enroll the client. This is the command where we are enrolling this particular Linux client with Red Hat IdM. So let's copy this command, hostname, that is your Red Hat, that is your client name. Domain is your Red Hat domain. Realm is also that is one, and the server Red Hat IDM server host name. So let's copy this and do that. So next we should have to tell yes with discovery, and we don't require the chronic with NTP server. Yeah, this is the list that we want to do that. Yes. You should have to give your admin password, admin user of your idm.platform.platformops.co.in. So once you do that, then it will enroll this in Red Hat IDM. Okay, it is successful. The next step will be just validating at the client side, the config check. Okay, there is no issues. And you have to check this triple HD. Should have to be active and running. Okay, then random list is your IDM, IPA host. Okay, that's okay. Because we are having that delegated Windows records. This okay. This is not an issue. Okay. Then after that, we'll check. We are able to retrieve that admin or not. So which admin it is? It is a Red Hat IDM admin. So once it is enrolled, then it is able to get the information. And also we'll try to check it is getting from Active Directory or, as well or not. See platformops.co.in. When I click that, it's successfully able to pull that information or read that information. So now we are going to access that. Okay. So this is the client server. Okay. RH client 01, this one. And this is the user, that is the AD user, which I'm doing as such. So let's do the password. It's successfully login now. Okay. With the AD user. And the home directory will be like /home, our domain name and the areas. So this is the successful thing, like we are able to log in with AD users through Red Hat IDM into the Linux clients. So next thing will be like giving the sudo policies, role-based access control for the IDM users, and host-based access control. So we'll see in the next video.